Resurgent India Knowledge Series presents live webinar on Green Financing for Mid-Corporates and MSMEs, a roadmap for meeting 2030 objectives. Moderator Mr. Ashish Agrawal, Director, Resurgent India Limited. Eminent speakers: Mr. P.K. Sinha, Ex-Executive Director, Power Finance Corporation Limited. Mr. Dheeraj Agrawal, Chief Business Officer, Mufin Green Finance. Mr. Shantanu Chaturvedi, Partner, Transition VC. Mr. Rohit Kumar, Secretary General, CMAI. Mr. Anshul Agarwal, Assistant General Manager, Indian Bank.
Good evening, friends. I'm Ashish Agrawal from Resurgent India. I would like to welcome all of you this knowledge series of Resurgent India on the green finance alternatives for the MSME and mid corporates in our country. So friends, this green shift is not the only moralistic requirement as of today. It is also important from the economic importance point of view. And you know that the MSMEs across the world are having something around 80 to 90% of the business. They are the larger employment sector also. They are into providing employment. They are into helping in the GDP growth also. So they are contributing in many ways, and which is helping the economies of the various countries we see. And we see the finance from the MSME's point of view. Finance is one of the challenging area across the world, not in India, across the world. And there is a big gap. So some study was done some time before. And in India itself, there is a gap of something around 25 lakh crore in the requirement of MSMEs and the whatever the finance is available. So this is an important area which we are discussing today, and this will help us to understand this climate finance and the green finance. So there are many products which are available in the finance side from the NBFC, from the MSME's point of view, which we will discuss today. So the green bond, ESG funding, and the other products are there, which can help you to understand that as an MSME, how you can take the advantage of these products. And we have a very good panel today. So it's a very good combination somehow. With the God grace, we got all the stars of the finance industry here. And yeah, this is a very good combination. If you see that we have bank, the one of the nationalized bank representative, then we have one of the large NBFC in the power sector or RE sector, ex-executive director. Then we have NBFC, one of the large NBFC in the green finance sector. So their representative is also here, chief business officer is there. And then we have Mr. Rohit Kumar, who is the Secretary General of CMAI, which is helping in the carbon footprints and how to monetize the carbon credits and all. So there's a good combination where the lenders and the district body is there actually, and we are discussing the benefits and the advantage of the green finance and how the MSMEs can take the advantage of. So I'll run through a small PPT which might give you some idea. And then we have the panel speaker. So I would like to welcome again to all the panel speaker for taking time and joining with us in this topic or in this discussion today for the benefit of all. And I believe with their expert advice or with their expert understanding, it will help to all the MSMEs to take the advantage of it. So this is the topic of today. The whatever the roadmap which we have for 2030. So the government of India has also set the roadmap for the entire RE sector or for the entire climate sector actually, which we'll discuss here. So next slide. So if we see from the green energy point of view, the target was something around 500 gigawatt. So 225 to 32 gigawatt has already been achieved. Then if we see the investment point of view, 33 lakh crore funding is required for the investment is required till 2030 according to the target, and which is ongoing. So if we divide it in next 5 years, something around 6.5 lakh crore rupees per annum will be required minimum. The direct investment in the RE sector. There are ancillary industries or ancillary and allied sectors are there, which will also require the funding for the ecosystem, which is not added here actually. So it will be something around 50 lakh crore. The funding requirement for almost 10 lakh crore every year will be required for the meeting out the green energy objective of the government of India. The next slide. We see the MSMEs and the overall ecosystem. As per some data, we have almost 63 million MSMEs, which is a very large number. Although in this MSME the number, 70-80% are micro industry, micro organization, but still a large number of small and medium enterprises also. And they are emitting something around 110 million tons of CO2, which is a very big number. So they can take the advantage of green financing for reducing these emissions. And if we see the energy consumption, in the overall industry energy consumption, 25% is for the MSMEs only, and that too for thermal. So this is a very important area which we will discuss here, how they can convert themselves into the solar or other RE power, and that they can take the advantage of financing schemes for that and the government incentives also, so that their overall electricity cost can be reduced, and they should be the self-reliant also on that power side. So they'll have their own solar project under their factory, under their premises. So that will help them also, and which can save from 10 to 20% of the electricity cost in the overall cost actually. And another area which is a concern area also, that many MSME companies are to the plant and machinery, because they are focusing on the electricity heavy sectors, which are auto, textile, and the other areas also, where a lot of plant and machinery required. Now, in last some years, if you have seen, there are a lot of plant and machineries are there which are energy efficient. So there are some grades are there, some certification are there, which can help you to cut down your electricity cost, bring the efficiency in the system by way of using these energy efficient machines. There are many such lenders; those are having the credit lines to fund such machines at the lower cost. So these MSMEs can take the advantage of it for their expansion purpose. They should go for the energy efficiency machine, which can help them to reduce the overall uh, cost on the electricity side or the other areas also. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, next slide. So these are the challenges which are facing by the MSME. These are not new challenges. These are the challenges since last many years. The entire funding ecosystem. So they have because of their credit rating, their track record, and all these things, they are always getting the funding at the higher cost. Although government of India has tried many such measures, but still the reality actually. So they are dependent on the NBFCs or to some extent on the banks also, but because of their credit profile, they are getting higher cost of the funding. Then if you see that short loans also, they are looking for longer period loans, but they are not getting it also through green finance. They can get this, and then collateral securities also, which is I think the requirement for most of the lenders, which they need to provide. Then the because of the credit profile, the risk of the portfolio, whatever they are banks are generating in the MSME sector, so they are taking little risky. And the many of MSMEs are not aware about the different schemes of the funding agencies. So we will discuss all these things here. Actually, these are the constraints which can which can overcome with the diversification of their the funding profile on the liability side, and reaching to the multiple set of lenders, the different categories. The next slide. There are a lot of government schemes are there. We just covered 2, 3 schemes here actually. So government has also taken very proactive measures also. PM Kusum is one of the largest scheme. Under that the solar or pump storage projects are there, where the government is giving a lot of subsidy, so they can take the advantage of it. Then the bioenergy program also, where government has come out with the subsidy, and then RAMP scheme also. There are many such schemes are there. We have just covered 2, 3 only. So MSMEs can check and they can take the advantage of these schemes also. Next slide. These are the some of the organizations which are meant for the lending to the MSMEs or the companies which are in the rural or semi-rural area. So we see the SIDBI has a very large program, and they have already disbursed some 78,000 crore in the green financing segment, mainly for MSME. Then IREDA is also helping the small companies also in terms of lending under RE program or the green financing. And NABARD has also program. They have got the lines also from ADB, which is 500 million dollar line under the concessional agreement from ADB for refinancing in the RE sector. So these can also be these schemes can also help you to get the funding at the lower cost without collateral, all these things. Then there are many such other institutions like public sector banks, NBFCs, then the other green finance companies also, which are supporting the cause of the climate financing, and they are having very attractive schemes for the borrowers. The next slide. These are some of the different kind of lenders which can help you in diversification of your borrowing profile. So like developmental financial institutions, DFIs, which are funding to the various sectors. And in climate finance or climate related projects, they have a lot of funds which they are giving to the direct to the borrowers, the MSME segment or the corporate, or they are giving to the funding agencies also, to banks and NBFC, so they can further lend to the MSMEs or the corporate at the lower rate. And on the other attractive terms, we have one panel speaker. He will speak on that. They got very DFI funding very recently, so they'll speak how you can access these funds also directly or through the refinancing scheme with these agencies. Those are getting these funds for lending further to the green finance sector. Then the innovative instruments like sovereign green bonds. So government has raised sovereign green bonds, which can be further given to the banks and other institutions or the green projects, although these are for the large projects or the government projects. Then green deposits, banks are now raising green deposits, and they are further lending these deposits to the climate related projects also. So either for energy efficiency or solar rooftop, these areas you can take the advantage of it. CGT SME also is one of the scheme where the collateral is not required actually. Then there are alternative instruments which you can use like ECBs, NCDs, equipment financing, sales and leaseback transactions, refinancing of your projects also. So these are multiple instruments for the financing, and under climate financing, these are instruments which are helping you to get the better credit terms or the better rate of interest also, because a lot of funds are there available which are available in the market with the lending agencies. So they are looking out partner. Those are setting up the solar projects, or those are into energy efficiency or other climate related projects also. Yeah, next slide. So how the resurgent can help, because we are a SEBI registered merchant bank and we are into corporate finance practice, where we help the corporates and MSMEs either in the debt or equity side. So as Resurgent India, we assist companies in various ways. So we do the complete analysis, and then like any good doctor, we also work in such a manner where we understand the problem, and then we design the instruments for that, and then we execute also. So we work hard on the execution of these projects in such a manner where there should be win-win for all the stakeholders. Next slide. And at Green Finance, so as Resurgent India, we also understand the requirement at an organization, responsible organization. It is our duty also that the way we are doing the business, we should have some area where we can help the companies those are doing good in the climate sector. So we have carved out a separate practice, separate vertical, where we are facilitating the companies which are into these areas, either the RE projects or EV or the energy efficiency side. So we have already have some credentials where we have facilitated many such projects, many such companies also. And we have a diverse pool of lenders and investors with whom we are very well connected, and we are reaching to them. We know their policy processes and everything, and the relationship is also there. So we work out the requirement, and then we our experts are there. Those are working on these, and they are uh, closing the transaction at the very attractive terms, so that it should be the beneficial to you. So, friend, this is something which I would like to just highlight you, so that we can know that what is the current situation, and what is the funding requirement, and what are the agencies and what are the products which are available to us. Although this is a very small area which we have covered, but we have experts. They will speak from their organization point of view and from their experience point of view, what they think that on the target of this 2030, how we will meet out this target, because it's a mammoth which we have already decided, the government has decided, and without funding, it is not possible. So for any project, any business, the funding is the core actually, and here we are discussing on the funding side. So I would like to again welcome to all the panel speakers, Dheeraj ji, and then Rohit ji, and PK Sinha ji, and the Anshul ji, and all are expert in their field. So Sinha ji, I would like to start with from you. You are the senior most, I believe, the entire panel. So my duty that I should welcome you and invite you first. So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. So, Sinha sir, thank you. First of all, thank you for joining with us, taking time for such an important topic. So, Sinha sir, you were in PFC, and PFC is a very large organization. They are funding to RE sector since last many years. So, if you can give us some perspective, and you were, I think, taking care for the green sector also in your organization. So, how the institutions like you are helping the companies which are into various sectors, but they are going for the solar projects, or they are going for the energy efficiency machines, or maybe other ecosystem projects also. So, what generally you see, and then how you help them, and what is the process for that if they want to approach such organizations? So, how they can approach them also. So, over to you, sir.
Yeah. So good afternoon. See, as far as PFC is concerned, PFC, of course, is one of the largest lender in the renewable sector in the country. The present exposure is more than 83,000 crores in the renewable sector, which PFC has dispersed. For MSMEs, for such type of, always, you see, the utility scale renewable projects are something which attracts PFC, and PFC has been doing all those projects, because we look at a bulk, bigger projects wherein you have good amount of sanction and disbursement. and the process that is there in place takes care of the large developers. For small developers, unfortunately, PFC is not attracted to, even PFC or REC, all these big NBFCs, if you're looking at. Of course, IREDA is there to support such projects. And uh, see, in case of small, this MSMEs and all, what PFC can do and has done is that there is an aggregator, because you see the security part that is one of the important factor that comes into picture when we look at MSME. If someone is putting up a rooftop solar project, then the access is not given to the company. He executes the projects and goes out, and the asset is on the roof of someone else. So those things are there. Funding a rooftop is something that PFC has not done, or even REC has not done, because of the security related issues. The collaterals is also one of the factor that is there. And these projects, you see, if it is through an aggregator, an agency who takes a collective responsibility of the project, then it can be looked into it, and they have done it, because the size also attracts these lenders, PFC, REC. As far as the procedure is concerned, what a borrower can do is that there is an online application form which is there, wherein they can fill the application form and submit an online application. And in PFC, it is there that the online shortlisting is done. It's not that you have to be physically present and get it done. So a renewal project, if it attracts, it gets shortlisted, and it is communicated to the prospective borrower that yes, you can now come up with a detailed proposal so that we can take it up further. The minimum size that attracts PFC has internal decision that at least a 10 megawatt is something that is the minimum size that they normally look at, not below that. So a 10 megawatt project may be costing around, say, 40 crores. So around 30 crores of debt is required. So those things can be taken care of. Any project which is less than 10 megawatt does not attract much, because it's a very, very small project for them. Like what you have in Kusum, around 2 megawatt projects and all. So if company aggregates them, say 10, 20 megawatt, then it's something, then they come to PFC, and PFC has been supporting it. So as far as individual projects are concerned, it is difficult to get funding from PFC, REC. But yes, IREDA is there, and other NBFC and the PS, public sector banks are there. They have been supporting it, and it can be done it from there. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think you have given the insight. I think this will be helpful to all our participants to understand the process, and they will have the project which is 10 megawatt and above. They'll definitely love to go to PFC, and they might get funding. Maybe PFC can help them. So this is good, actually. I'll come back to you. So Dheerajji, welcome to you. You have very vast experience on the EV side, electric vehicle ecosystem. So this is a very vast area, actually, if you see, and the transition is happening. And you see that I was just seeing there are 22 lakhs companies are registered in India in MCA. And with the new guidelines of this MSME ministry, that up to 500 crore of the turnover, the MSMEs are covered, actually. So out of this 22 lakh companies, I think 98% companies are covered into that to 500 crore top line, actually. So it's a huge market, actually, and these companies will become the large companies also. Like Reliance was a MSME sometime, some years before. Now Reliance is a giant, actually. So out of the 98% companies which are in MSME, they can become like Reliance or other Adani or something. So there are potential companies are there which are growing companies also. And this climate financing which we are talking, and you are running a company, Mufin Finance, which is completely involved into the funding to the sector. So your experience will also help to all of us, and we would like to understand that for green finance or climate finance, basically, what are the most critical internal gaps are there and the MSMEs when they are approaching to the lenders, and how they can improve it so that they can get the faster funding, they can get lower rate funding also, and they can get the desired funding also. So over to you, sir. You are on mute, sir. Dheeraj, you are mute. अभी भी sir mute
Yeah,
मान लीजिए.
right.
Yes, sir. Now you are talking.
Thank you, researcher, to call him. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dheeraj. I represent Mufin Green Finance. Mufin is basically a green finance company, and we are also in the electric vehicles as well as solar and all. So, rightly ask the question. So, what are the critical gaps I can see? So, I will tell that basically there are 4 to 5 points which I want to highlight. What are the main gaps which MSME must address to improve the green finance, which I am also focusing. First is the lack of the financial documents and the transparency which I can see. So if I expand it further, so like if you see MSME and everybody is struggling for the book. Their limits, their eligibility for the green loans, especially from the NBFC and institutional lenders like MUFIN, rely on the variable cash flows and the credit behavior. Second part is about the awareness of the green technologies and the ROI, I can see. So many MSME are unaware of how EVs, like PK Sinha said about the rooftop solars and energy efficient machinery can reduce the operating cost. Without clear understanding of the life cycle saving, they hesitate to borrow the such investments. And if you see, there is also a third point is what I can see is other thing is they are not measurable ESG impact. As in India, we can see we can't measure. There is hardly anybody who talks to on the carbon saving on the energy reductions. Where MSME lacks, we don't have tools. As I said, we are also struggling. There are hardly one or two people who are doing the carbon impact. So that impact which access give me the lesser access on all. Third, fourth rather, which I can see is the planning on the asset use, whether it's I can see whether it's a EV or it's a solar. MSME often don't have a strong asset utilization plan. Lenders like MUFIN and needs clarity on how these assets will generate consistent revenue on the savings of the product. Last but not the least, I can see is that there is no end life or resale strategies. Green assets, like we are also funding EVs or batteries. We don't know what is the use of the batteries, what will happen after 5 years or 6 years. The batteries, there is hardly any refurbishment. We are also struggling on. So if these all MSME must understand these asset life cycle economics, which I can see. So MUFIN as a whole to unlock the scalable green finance, MSME must improve, I can say, demonstrate or formalize any basics ESG readiness, which is not available. With type of right support, I believe gaps can be bridged through partnerships, embedded fintech tools, or maybe the target educations. That is what I feel. These are 5, 6 points which I feel the gap is. If we can lend these gap, cover these gap, that will definitely help apart from moving other NBFCs to grow in this product.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your guidance also. On the EV side, you're very well guided to the people. What are the concern areas? So, friends, now we have Rohit ji. Rohit ji is Secretary General of CMAI. So, welcome, Rohit ji. Rohit ji, what is CMAI and how it is helping to the MSME sector or the overall corporates also, and how they can take the advantage of whatever your services are there in terms of net zero, carbon trading, and all these areas. Rohit ji is here or not? I think he left. Maybe he must be rejoining. So now we have Anshul ji. So Rohit ji will take once he rejoin. Anshul ji, welcome to you. You are representing a very large PSU bank in the country, and we are in India, and your bank name is Indian Bank. So फॉरेन में तो लोग यही समझते हैं कि ये एक ही बैंक है इंडिया में जो इंडियन बैंक, so the it's really good actually. So Anshul ji, from the banking point of view, what do you think? Because banks are having the target also that to 40% of their PSL overall lending, PSL is one of the major target, and this 40% is that PSL requirement, and most of the MSMEs are covered in that. So if we see from that point of view, what are the three top criteria are there from the green projects point of view? As a bank, how do you have any different assessment model for these projects, and in terms of collateral requirement and the interest rate and other areas? Are you having some kind of relaxation on that also, or generally how you help these organizations? So over to you, Anshul.
Thank you, Ashish sir, for the invitation. Good afternoon, everyone. So, sir, what is happening with the this is the most prominent area nowadays, green financing. And we are seeing a lot of proposals, and almost all MSMEs are trying to diversify their operations into these areas. But from the bank side, there are three critical points. First one is management. Second one is project risk, and third one is industry capacity. So I'll delve upon all the three one by one. So management, what we are seeing is how is the management, what is their past experience. This management also includes the functional teams that they are hiring for implementation and OMM purposes. For example, if I talk about PM Kusum models, so their MSMEs are coming, they are signing a contract with discoms, but the management is lacking a experienced team. They are saying that we will hire at a later stage. This is the most common problem we are seeing practically. We need expertise. We see how past in the past whether they have implemented any projects on their own or any team they are having in readiness, which can help the new management to implement something. Similarly, if I go about project risk, there are two vital factors. One is technicalities. Uh, taking again the same example of PM Kusum, there are many parameters which needs to be looked into. Land. First one is land acquisition. Land acquisition, we say it is very easy, but in India, we all know it is the most toughest part, and it leads to cost overrun and delay in the project financing, project implementation. Similarly, the variety of modules that they are procuring. So, in brief, I am telling that whatever the components that is required in the project, that has to be selected very properly, because it leads to cost. It is having a cost at every stage, while implementation and also post operational. Similarly, in a financial models, we want the promoters to have a skin in the game. All lending agencies, if I Sina sir will agree with me, Dheeraj sir will agree with me, that we fund on the basis of how much promoters are contributing themselves, not only in the terms of finance, but in terms of how successful they are seeing the future of this project that they are coming into for lending. So this is quantified through margin, promoters margin. Like we have a promoters margin from 10% to 30% requirement for different segments for different projects. Then we have a industry capacity. So for example, if you are coming with a project which is already live in a particular area, and you are coming just for the sake because another project is live and is profitable, that is not going to give you a project competitiveness, the project margin, the project long run viability. So we see from the point of competitiveness, what is the regulators vision, what is the government support. There are many projects having government subsidies, and people are coming only just to gain those subsidies, just to take out those subsidies from the government, and they don't know how it will go, how it will run, and what will be the impact. These subsidies are not upfront. These subsidies are over a period of time. By that time, they have to prove themselves. They have to keep the project live. So the three most important things are this, sir. First one is management has to be strong. Today, MSMEs are lacking a formal system of credit. They are not looking their balance sheet in a proper way. Their civil scores, because of the past ignorance, it is not up to the mark. these are the gap in the industry which are hampering them the loans that they need or that they are eligible for. Then they go to some again informal segment, and the ROI is very high. Nowadays, as from the public sector bank side, I can say that ROI is very competitive. We are having a very good ROI, and because most of the MSMEs ROI linked with repo, and repo we all know is getting down every day. So I think the rate cuts have given a good leverage to all the business houses, MSMEs in particular, and uh, and we don't foresee, sir, any hurdles in financing. Even for the shorter loans, we have different segments. From the Indian bank side, we can say that we have smaller branches. We have 5,900 plus branches across India, and any MSMEs, any business can visit any of our branches and can avail loans on the basis of project strength and management strength, sir.
Thank you so much, Ansulji. But can you just give some highlighted for these projects which are green related, climate related projects, whether solar rooftop or solar PM Kusum and other related projects also, mainly for MSME companies. Do you have any different assessment process, or are you giving some relaxation? As you were talking about it, you are checking emissions and all, and which helps to, can they get some advantage in the pricing also because of that they are into that sector, which is helping the environment also?
So definitely, sir. For example, this green financing, renewable energy projects up to 35 crores are being taken as PSL, priority sector lending. So banks are giving good rate of interest. I cannot comment on the rate of interest range, but it is definitely they are gaining advantages over other projects because of the priority sector involvement, because of the government involvements. We banks have targets on it. And regarding assessment, sir, basic assessments, all the segments have different assessment models. These are based on industry averages. But for the green segment, as I told you, sir, everyone is focusing on green. We also have a green cell in our bank, which is looking after green projects, opportunities in the green segment. And we have very lucrative schemes for all the green projects. For example, PM Kusum, rooftop solar schemes, biogas schemes. And so whatever the government is giving trust, we are also have a very lucrative schemes that is also available online through our website, and can also be knowledge can also be gained from any of our branches.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ansulji. I think you have covered very well the problems also and the solutions also. Thank you so much. So Rohit ji, I think आपका connectivity बीच में थोड़ा break हो गया था. So thank you very much for coming again. So Rohit ji, first of all, welcome to you. And because you are running an association, the CMAI. So first of all, we'd like to understand what is the CMAI and how this is helping to the MSME sector also, along with the corporate, and this carbon footprint, carbon credit. These are the some jugglery or some terms which many people are not aware actually. So many times we are discussing there is a value of the carbon credit, but sometimes people are saying there is no value. So you can give some highlight on that, that will be helpful. Yes, sir. Over to you. Yes, sir, you are in mute, sir. Rohit ji, you are in mute.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Ashish ji, and thank you, Research India, for inviting us. And regarding the PFC financing, and Dheeraj ji also regarding the green financing, and Anshul ji regarding the timing and all.
Sir, I think your voice is breaking. Rohit ji, can you do one thing? You can. Rohit ji, can you switch off your video? I think
switch off the camera. Yeah, now it is fine. I think. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better, sir.
Can you hear me? So
yes, sir, it is better now.
Still some disturbance. Yeah, it's better now. So, so first of all, thank you for inviting us in the program. And
sir, still we are facing some connectivity issue. Rohit, still the voice is not coming. I think he has left again. I'm really very sorry that I think there is some connectivity issue at his hand. So he'll rejoin. In the meantime, the Sinha sir, I'll come back to you. Sinha sir, this ESG, one of the buzzword in the nowadays, everybody is talking ESG and ESG. And you see that you have very good experience of infrastructure lending. What practical steps can be taken to reduce ESG due diligence cost? Because there is a cost of you, and many people are not aware that how this due diligence can be done also for a mid-sized companies, mainly from the green investment or green finance point of view, which all are the agencies which can help them also. We can cover all that, sir. Sorry, I'm mute पे हैं sir अभी.
For ESG, the developers need to come up with a ESG report and a study on that. So for that, what I feel that every small developers, if they come up, they get their own study done and come out with an ESG report. It will be a difficult task, and cost implication will also be there. So in order to control this, what I feel that if a guideline is met, which is already to some extent it is there, and the whichever agent, the utility which is asking these small developers to come up, they come out with a guideline that if you implement a green project with these are the parameters which you need to achieve. So those will take care of the ESG guidelines, and they commit to that, and it can be reviewed from time to time. So at the upfront, they don't have to incur any expenditure in getting the study done and all those. If it's aggregated, if 5-6 people can jointly do it and get it done, and then get this ESG study done, they can come up and they can submit a report. The costing will be divided among 5-6 companies, and then it will be quite useful. That is my point, is that if the implementing agency, the government should come out with a policy for this and a brief guideline that what all parameters that they need to achieve. That as far as carbon credit and all those things, these are small companies which are new to the sector, which are coming to this. They're not aware of all those things. So those carbon credit, how to get a carbon credit, how to get it done and all. So awareness campaign needs to be done, of course, and Resurgent can also chip in, and they can also submit guide them in this, that what will be the benefit as far as carbon credit is concerned and all those factors wherein they can bet. But return on investment and all that can be also explained to them. So that is how it is, sir, for ESG.
Okay, but ESG due diligence is compulsory for any funding, sir?
No, I don't think so. I don't think. See, these are all commercial things where if you have a offtake agreement, ESG is something which is not compulsory, as far as I have seen in utility scale as well as in the Kusum and all. I don't see much. But yes, for the purpose of their benefit, what are the benefits? One is the tariff part that they are going to get it. But other factors, I haven't seen much in that. It's not compulsory as far as PFC REC is concerned for an ESG report.
Okay, because ESG rating is now allowed in the country. I think there are ESG rating companies are there which have got the license from SEBI. So Resurgent India also got the ESG rating license.
Yeah.
Although it is not compulsory, but many companies are coming suo moto and they are taking this rating. So they want to say that we are ESG compliant, or we have been rated by a third party, which might help in many areas. But still, it has to be figured out that.
So if there are subsidies involved, like in Kusum and all, if there are subsidy involved from the government, then it is required. And for that purpose, they need to take all those ESG rating. Because all those, wherever if you claim a subsidy from the government, then ESG rating would be required.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So Rohitji, sorry, actually,
Yeah, sorry, my
now it is fine, sir. So just again, welcome to you. And then the question was related, to you related to that the carbon credits or carbon trading also, and whatever the CMI there, how we are helping this area. So if you can cover up from your point of view, that for MSME, there is any value of carbon credit, or this is just a piece of paper actually? So if you can cover
I'll
up on
just
that.
thank you, Ashish, and sorry for disturbance because there's some internet issue. I'll just come directly to regarding some of the facts that most of the gentlemen in the webinar has discussed about how financing can happen from the bank and how financial institutions are helping and about to help MSME at large. But I just want to mention that carbon credit is not a loan and not a any kind of liability for any company. It's an incentive altogether. So when we talk about the carbon market, this is an incentive to the industry for mitigating the greenhouse gas impact. And there is no loan, there is no interest which you have to pay for the project and activities. So that is a great opportunity for industry and MSME for in India carbon market. Now the challenge is that MSME is actually contributing. We know that 30% GDP and 50% exports and large number of employments are happening from MSME, which is more than 10 crore. And apart from that, MSME is also emitting around 150 to 200 million tons CO2 equivalent. So one of the large emission sector, MSME is also there in terms of greenhouse gas mitigation. It is causing big concern for environment and climate change. And as we know that India is the third largest emitter in the world. So large industry is also doing emission, but MSME is also contributing at large. So the challenge is that regarding financing, the challenge is that regarding financing and all those activities, that how we are able to meet those objectives. So carbon market can be a great tool, while we understand that there are several challenges which MSME is facing. Everybody has discussed about high initial cost because everybody has to lead towards a green energy transition and also leads towards the net zero because India is aiming 2070 as net zero. So by anyhow, everybody has to meet those goals. And MSME will also be in the path because MSME is also causing a scope 3 and scope 1 emission at large. So we understand that large company is now looking forward to take product and services from those company who is meeting the climate goal, because all those emission liability is going to transform from that one company to other company if you are not able to get all the green and sustainable products and activities. While at the same time, MSME has facing big challenge because of high initial cost and lack of technical expertise MSME has, and also limited finance, which we have discussed in the discussion and dialogue right now. And another opportunity is that infrastructure gaps are there, and also regulatory and policy hurdles are there. While government is recently come with, I will just also mention about what government has come regarding the carbon finance taxonomy, climate finance taxonomy recently. Government has already mentioned that India needs around $2.5 trillion to meet NDC target by 2030. While we also need around $250 billion per year for India energy security scenario, and till 2047. While adaptation fund is also required by $206 billion. So we need large funding everywhere, and as a country where MSME is also part of that. But the challenge is there where the fund will come. While the good picture is that we are also very strong in terms of per capita emission, but we are aiming to increase the per capita emission, I think, tenfold by 2047, where we are aiming to be in Viksit Bharat. We have done a good job in terms of meeting NDC goals, and as a government we are already achieved 40% of cumulative electricity power installed capacity of non-fossil fuel, which is ahead than Panchamitra, what we are aiming for that. And we also done the emission intensity GDP was reduced by 33% for 2005 level by 2019. So some of the great initiatives have been taken by government, and we should really applaud those initiatives. At the same time, Government of India has also come with a National Action Plan for Climate Change, which is NAPCC. And the 9 national mission has been adopted, and under which I think all those activities will also going to impact MSME directly and indirectly at large. And we also know that reduction of emission through PAT scheme, we already know that. And that was one of the good success story what as a country has. Because in the PAT scheme, we saved approximately 26 million ton of oil equivalent, which is 70 million ton of carbon dioxide emission. Now we have launched Indian carbon market, but Ashish is asking about how carbon market can play important role. So Indian carbon market, there are three kind of carbon markets we have right now. One is compliance carbon market, which is launched by Government of India. And compliance carbon market, 9 sector has already come in the compliance carbon market list. And the challenges ahead that government is also decide the target for those sectors. And every industry has to meet those targets, else they have to pay the carbon tax at large. Then another challenge what we have, everybody knows about the CBAM, which is coming, carbon border resistance mechanism. So there are various challenges which as an industry or as a company or MSME is going to face in coming years. So this is the part where we discuss about the challenges, but at the same time, there are various initiatives everybody has discussed about the government has taken forward, like Kusum Yojana and other Yojana. While there are various other schemes already there in the government side, like we discuss about National Program for Advanced Chemistry Cell, battery storage schemes are there. Faster adoption and manufacturing of EV vehicle is there. And Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana is one of the great initiatives which is going to create a big impact. And the government has also launched the Green Credit Program, where individual and the community can be incentivized. We also launched bioenergy programs and also PM e-Seva schemes and National Green Hydrogen Mission, and also GST compensation for cess on coal. So there are various other schemes also there, apart from Kusum Yojana and other Yojanas, which is done by the financial institutions like SEBI and NABARD and all. So we can also see those schemes and policies which government is doing. And all those activity is actually aligned to the climate finance taxonomy. So I want to emphasize on climate finance taxonomy is a great tool to identify activities and which is helping for climate action goal and transition pathway, creating a transition pathway. Government has come with the notification. Government is also requesting to share the feedback in this notification. Everybody has time. We can share those feedback regarding MSME role and requirement for an MSME. The climate finance taxonomy is going to facilitate greater resource flow to climate-friendly technologies and activities, enabling achievement of the country's vision to achieve net zero by 2070. It is also ensuring long-term access for reliable and affordable energy. So that is a key source. Government has launched the hybrid schemes for that. And the quantitative and qualitative schemes are already there, which has to play a very important role. And in which we are primarily focusing on mitigation and adaptation activities. Because I'm just discussing about these areas because everything is linked to MSME. And this is going to be a biggest area in coming years, apart from some soft loan provided by some banks and institutions. And the sectors are like power, mobility, buildings are already there. Hard-to-abate sectors are there. And agriculture, food and water security sectors are already there. So now, how the carbon market can play a pivotal role in these activities? Yeah. Because every schemes need funding. So every MSME is or every corporate is looking for funding if they wish to be net zero. Since MSME is very important part of the value chain, recently we have done a program for livestock and dairy sector, and we realized that MSME has to play a very important role to decarbonize, and there are various carbon credit projects can also be aligned on those sectors. I'll give you the small example regarding the livestock sector. The projects might be in every value chain. The transportation projects might be there, the green transportations, where we are replacing fossil fuel to EV. This can be one of the projects. Another projects can be the cold storage plants, where we are applying to reduce the greenhouse gas. So that technology, which is called high-end technology projects, are also there in the carbon credit generation opportunities. Other projects might be the biogas projects, where we have a carbon the waste are there. So the small biogas plants where MSME is giving, MNR is giving large incentive, and the middle level biogas plants and large biogas plants. Another carbon credit projects opportunities are there. So as a CMI, we have done the project modeling also. And all these projects are able to incentivize not a very small funding, but very large funding, because some of these projects are also lying Article 6. And Article 6 carbon pricing are 5 to 10 times what we are earning in the carbon market so far. So this market has recently launched in the COP Azerbaijan, and Indian government has identified 14 technologies. And in the 14 technology, the pricing of this market can be $30 to $50. And in case that pricing is going to meet, because the global standard of pricings are there, we are able to get the ROI for all those projects and activity much faster. So some of the projects we have evaluated the ROI, which is around 5 years in biogas projects, and carbon funding can be tooled by 25 to 30% funding on those projects. So this is the area where we wish to communicate. And there are various other carbon projects also there in the removal and reduction side, and which MSME can play a very important role. But challenge is that how we aggregate those projects. So aggregation is very important. Digitization is very important, which CMI is closely working at that. And CMI has also come with a carbon calculator, which actually measure the emission. So at the MSME, we should know right now where we are, where we stand for that, where is the red line, where we need to reduce the emission, where our buying pattern and activity can be there in coming 5 years and 10 years time, so that we can go for green buying and green technology and green services, so that we can at least mitigate the emission, because all the larger industry is going to take product and services only from those companies who is able to help them to meet net zero. So that is the challenges ahead for MSME, and carbon market can really play in terms of getting the financial incentive. This is not loan and this is not grant. This is just an incentive. And also green project funding opportunities are there. MSME can also evaluate, like some of the projects, I will give you some areas which is not aligned to the energy side, but in the bioenergy side, if MSME in the bioenergy and dairy sectors are there, they can definitely go for Article 6 projects where small biogas and big biogas plants can be placed. And all these projects can get ROI in 5 years' time. So these are the project modeling and valuations can be done. Regarding some MSME which working in the biochar and the technology side, where they can definitely get the ROI in 4 years' time. So there are various opportunities ahead in terms of carbon market as a country we have. We just need to evaluate and we just need to plug in, we just need to aggregate, and we can avail this benefit either in the Indian carbon market or international voluntary carbon market or various segment Article 6 markets. So all three markets opportunities are there.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we have funding agencies here. So if the carbon credits can be funded also, is there any tool is there where this value can be measured and this can be funded? So as a developer, I should get some funding, and when I want to sell it, I can sell it and can realize the value out of it also. Is it possible? Any such tool is there? Rohitji, do you have any idea of that?
Yes. So I'll just give a little download that as we discuss about three kinds of carbon markets are there. So in the compliance carbon market, the 9 sectors has been identified. So we have to meet the target. In case we not meet the target, the various compliances and tax are waiting for us. So this is a cap and trade model which government has already identified and developed. There are many more sectors are coming now in the compliance market. We are starting with 9. The other markets are the voluntary carbon markets, which is not part of compliance market, but we can develop projects in this market. I'll give you just a small example. We have a solar rooftop, which is captive in use, because and if you have 1 megawatt project, it can generate credit between 1,500 to 2,000 credit. So these are opportunities are there in the, so we can also aggregate all the PM Surya scheme. And if the larger bundle can be there, we can generate the IREX certification also. So those IREX certification, after the IREX certification, we can incentivize industry as per the megawatt capacity. So these are activities already there, and the industries are waiting to buy those credits. And I discussed about the Article 6 market, where we are already tying up with Japan, Korea, Singapore, because they are signing up with the government of India under Article 6. And they wish to get such kind of high quality and standard credit, because all this credit they can transfer to Japan and meet the NDC goal. So such kind of market has already developed. I'll give you a small example. I was there in the Karnal, and there's a compressed biogas plants are there. And they already have a buyer who wish to invest money in advance and get the carbon credit and block the carbon credit funding in advance. So that opportunity is already there in the market, because this market is going to be very systematic. And as a country, we are already leader in the voluntary carbon market space. We have 30% share. And as a country, we have already generated $10 billion from the carbon funding in the CDM era. And we are aiming to generate $15 billion by 2030 as a country. And there are various opportunities ahead, either in terms of technology collaborations, either in terms of project development. And carbon market, we have already also discussed with MOCI, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, because as a country, this can be a great tool for getting FDI at large. All those projects and activity, which is not part of compliance carbon market list. So there is a forestations, there is a mangroves projects, because we have 75% coastal area in the country. And there's a various organic farming projects and activities are there. Agroforestries are there. We have a Deccan belt in Maharashtra, where the projects can be only there in the basalt rock and basalt salt projects are there. So volcano rocks projects are there. The various projects are there. We are just trying to align those projects and creating a destination as a country to get large investment.
Great. So carbon credits are tradable. Now the Indian carbon market is also setting up. So that's a good news, I
Yeah.
think, for everybody.
So, Ashish, I just want to clarify in this forum that there are two kind of market. One is compliance, which is not tradable, which
Okay.
is inside the. But there is a voluntary carbon market, which is tradable outside India, and there is an Article 6 market, which is CDM market. We are already trading it from last more than 10 years
Okay.
outside
Great.
India, and we have generated $10 billion. So
Very
there
good.
is a confusion in the market that we can't trade, but we are the largest trader in this world. And
Okay.
we have done trading better than China and some of the country like Turkey. And the world has larger trust on India and Brazil in terms of carbon market compared to these countries. So we have a
Great.
great destination and we have great opportunities ahead. We are trying to build this as a CMAI and creating an ecosystem in this country.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for doing these efforts, helping the industry, the entire ecosystem. Thank you once again. So, Dheeraj, I think this green taxonomy, which we are talking climate, this Ministry of Finance has come out with a climate finance taxonomy, and I think Rohit has covered little bit on that also. So, would you like to add on that? What are your views on this initiative, and what steps should be taking towards the effective implementation of it? If you have any views on that, sir.
Yeah, so I can say that I think Rohit sir has already tried to cover it, but what I want to key expect on the draft framework, there are 3 points which I want to share. It should be a, first of all, it's a comprehensive coverage. The taxonomy encompasses and wide range of sectors are there, including power sector and the mobility. All these sectors are to be linked. Second point I want to guys, it should it's a dual classification. Activities like activities are basically categorized into the climate supportive and transition supportive to acknowledge both current sustainable practice and those in the pathway to the sustainability. Third and last, what I can see, it covers the alignment with the national goal. The framework aligns with the Indians' broader objectives such as net zero emission by 2070 and Viksit Bharat on 2047. What is being what is I feel why what is the main reason why I want to effect on how to effect this? There are 4 points which I want to cover. First is there should be some stakeholder engagements. Like we have to conduct extensive consultations, extensive industry players are required who can talk to the industry players, financial institutes, civil society to ensure about the launch of this product and they should be practically accepted. Second, we have to build the capacity. As on date, if you see, there is hardly capacity is not being built, so we have to provide to build this capacity. We have to provide the training. We have to arrange the resources. We have to call the financial institutes to come in and facilitate the. Third is we have to do the reviews. Periodic reviews is required to establish the mechanism, regular updates, and how it is moving about. Last but not the least is the monitoring and about the evaluations, what I feel. So that is we have to develop the robust system to monitor the impact of the taxonomy and the investments, how these investments are coming. So these are some of the things which I feel if we implement it, India can ensure that climate finance taxonomy serves as an important, effective tool. Also, I want to say this is not about classifying green finance. It is about making bankable, measurable, and scalable business out of it. So next phase must focus on implementation of these frameworks and capacity building as well as incentive alignments to ensure that the capital flows to whether it needs most, especially to these MSME sectors, and these are all emerging sector to undergo this. So my
Okay. Thank
final
you, sir.
word is let us ensure how it becomes done it.
Right. Thank you so much. So, last but not the least, Anshulji, last question from you. This Reserve Bank of India is issued draft guidelines on the climate-related financial risk for the regulated entities that this would be disclosures. So, there is any thought on that related to that and how this will help the banks also and the regulated entities also?
As Dheeraj sir pointed out, these disclosures are also an extended version of green finance taxonomy. See what is happening, sir. It is bringing up a discipline in the banks as well as the borrowers. For the bank side, if we say we the Reserve Bank wants that the board itself has to start the process of seeing how much borrowers we are financing having a huge carbon emissions. Likewise, they want to know the investors are all stakeholders. The comparable between the banks, how much concentration we are having, what will be the physical and transition risk for all the banks, and how does the market should react pricing of the banks accordingly. So it is an extended version. Second thing, sir, it also brings discipline about the in the borrowers. When the banks start disclosing and they are under pressure of showing better results, they also try to see borrowers what should be done. For example, in the initial slides, you have shown that 25% of thermal power is being consumed by MSMEs. Now, here bank can play a role that they will say the borrowers to install rooftop solar, to utilize an efficient energy machines. So this will be a part of strategies that the bank has to undertake. Next point, that capacity building. So banks today lack details about climate related risk, environment related risk, and climate financing. So that capacity building through training, hiring experts, like Rohit sir was saying that they are building up the huge manpower, the talents in these segments. So bank has to utilize their services and come out with a robust plan so that our financial system remains strengthened and it is insulated from this environmental risk coming forward. So this is a very good initiative by the Reserve Bank of India, and timelines have been given for the banks to implement in a staggered manner. Even the final disclosure norms are yet to come, and we believe that it will help banks and the borrowers to move ahead towards the ultimate goal of India's net zero emission.
Great, sir. I think thank you so much for giving that. But it shows that when this climate-related financial risk model will come, in that case, the project which are not climate friendly will not, nobody will fund it actually. So this might be a big challenge for them also.
Sir, it will be like net off. We have to, the banks will again start netting off. They will try to give more financing to the green segment and will try to give them more innovative ideas and ways. It is not only about green financing, it is about using the tools mechanism to reduce the carbon emissions. So I think it is a win-win game for everyone.
Great, sir. I think in the last question, everything is clear that for any corporate, whether it's a MSME, large corporate, anybody, it's very important. They should analyze and they should assess in their business that how they can save this carbon footprint, which can help them, because in the future, the lender, vendor, any other stakeholders, everybody will ask from you that where are you actually. So I think this session will help all the MSMEs. They should start assessing in their system that how they can use the environmental friendly technology, environment friendly equipment, environmental friendly raw material, whatever they are using in the entire industry, they should focus on that. Otherwise, tomorrow they might be unviable for the market also, for unviable for the funders also, and unviable maybe for their customers also. So I think it is very clear with that webinar that for everybody, it is very, very important, not for the industry, as an individual also, this is our responsibility that we should try to save water, we should try to use the carbon environment friendly things also, so that collectively 140 crore people of India can make a change in the target of government of India of this 2070 net zero target we can achieve in 2060 or rather 2050. That will be a great achievement, and then some contribution by all of us in the entire overall objective of the government, and we can save our future also, because not for us, we might not be there in 2070, but our children and their children might enjoy that liberty, and they can be regarded as that India has taken the step and they have reached to such stage actually. So thank you so much, all of you, for giving us the lot of insights and understanding. Although it's a very small step for the funding side for the MSME, because as Resurgent India, we are practicing funding. So we always look for that, through that process, how we can help the industry and the other agencies. So this might help to some extent to some of the people, but if we will start thinking on that and working on it, I think it can be a great change after some years in the entire ecosystem, and you can approach to all our funding agencies. So we have MUFIN, Indian Bank, then Sinha ji also, he can guide, although he is not working currently, but he as a veteran, he can guide also. And then you can approach to Rohit ji also for the carbon credits, carbon trading and everything. It can help you to some extent. So thank you so much. Thank you all. It's a good discussion.
So,
And
Ashish, I'll just
yes,
add
sir,
one point
please.
as in the forum that everybody is there. So the challenge with MSME, what we are understanding and we are evaluating, that MSME is directly coming under scope 3 at large. And so every MSME can really focus about purchase good and services. So what we purchase. So because when we purchase anything, we are not purchasing good and services, we are also purchasing emission together. So this we should be very careful, because all the big companies like ONGC, Indian Oil and all, they are going to buy only from those MSME which is going to meet their objective, because all those emissions they are transferring from MSME to Indian Oil and big companies. And since they have to meet the net zero goal much faster, 2046 or 2045, so this challenge is going to ahead for MSME. Second is the capital good, which they're already doing it. They just need to plug in all those activity, and fuel and energy related activities. They should definitely migrate towards solar and all the scheme. Government is already doing great. And upstream transportation and distribution, waste management, they should focus on this. They should also focus on business travel, because business travel is also in the scope 3 emission. And we also closely working with Indian Railway and trying to promote Indian Railway. Business travel is much better than compared to aircraft, because emission is very less. Also employee communicating and upstream lease asset. So everything what we are doing, we should really measure that, are we taking the product and services or also buying emission together? We have to be very careful. And data collection, you rightly said, it's much needed for every MSME to measure that where we stand for today.
Rohit, thank you so much. Just to add in that, I could remember one example. Very recently, the IKEA has announced that till 2027, all their vendors should be ESG compliant. Whether it's MSME, corporate, individual, anybody. Then you see that idea is a what largest organization, very large organization. They have lakhs of vendors actually. So by force, they will be bound to convert themselves in the ESG compliant practices. Otherwise, they will be out from the IKEA vendor list also. So like this, every large corporate will do that actually. You have taken the example of ONGC and others also. So this is now a question of survival. So I think not funding only, but the other areas also are important, so that the funding agency should also be comfortable. So thank you so much. I think it's a great discussion, and I would like to thank you once again to all of you for joining with us and sharing your thoughts, and the participants also from various parts of the country, from the various segments of banks, then the MSME companies also, then the professionals, investors. So a lot of people were there, the advisors also, and I think this session will give you some kind of tips or some kind of understanding. And then when you start practicing it also, then it will help you also. So thank you once again. And thank you, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.